All right, so I need to make my eyes better. I'm gonna hit 4 so I can see, and I can see my eyeballs are inside my head. You see that? So we need to get to those. So if you hit 4, it goes to wireframe. I'm just gonna click on this guy, and I'll hold Shift, click on this guy, and I'm just gonna move them forward. So I'm just gonna hit W, and apparently their pivot's down there, which is way too far away. So I'm gonna do Modify Center Pivot. That'll move their pivots to the center. I'm gonna hit 5 now to go back into flat shaded, or let's go 6, because why not? Oh, okay, there's no textures on this. And I'm just going to pull it straight. That's too far. I'm just going to pull it out as far as it needs to be. So let's hit F to frame so I can see a little bit better. And we want to get these roughly where we want them. I think that is probably fine. Okay, so I just want to put these in a group to make this a little bit easier. So while I have them selected, I'm going to hit Control G. And we'll just call this the eyeball underscore GRP. Okay? And that'll just make things a little bit easier. I'm also, again, with this, going to go modify, where are you? Modify center pivot. So the pivot's up here. All right. So I need these to move with my head. Because right now, if I rotate my head, you'll see I did paint weights on the head, and it looks amazing. Okay. Anyways, if I rotate my head, besides that weirdness, they're not moving with it, right? So like that's a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from this joint. I'm going to hit Q. This joint. And then I'm going to hold Control. When you're in here, we have to do it's like a list. It's like we would be inside of a file browser. So it's not going to be Shift to multi-select. It's actually Control, which is weird because that's the opposite out here. But anyways, hold Control and click on that group. And then you're going to go Constraint. I want you to go to Point. Actually, go to Parent and just choose Parent. Okay? And now, when this goes, it will now move the eyeballs with the head. Now it's going to look a little bit off because the head's like tearing or something. This looks like some sort of weird Renaissance, like old painting or something to me. I don't know. But anyways, it's now moving with the head, which is what I wanted. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want these eyes to actually look at stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an eye aim constraint. So to do that, you're going to go to Create, Nerves Primitives, Circle. Going to put this little circle here. Woo! I'm just going to go ahead and get it up and into position. Go up. Let's move it up and up and up. And then I need to rotate it. I'm going to hit E on my X 90 degrees. So I was going to type in 90 in the channel box. So it rotates like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap spacebar, and I'm just going to put it right over one of the eyes here. And actually, just to make sure that it's perfect, I'm going to hold V for point snap. And I'm only going to grab this handle. Don't grab from the center. Grab this handle, and I'm going to pull it and then put my cursor right over that center of the eye. Then, still holding V, I'm going to click here and drag it up and make sure it's centered again on that vert. I don't want to grab it in the middle because otherwise it'll snap to the eyeball. Because now you'll see, just so you get an idea, it's actually not on there, right? Okay. And then what we're going to do is go back into here. Come on. I'm going to hold, I'm going to hit Control D and then V for point snap. And I'm just going to snap it so it's snapped right on the center of that. Okay, so basically I got 2 nerve circles, one for each eye. That looks good. And then what we're going to do is select them both and go modify freeze transformations so they're zeroed out. Should probably name them, but I'm not going to right now. I'm actually also on this one going to go edit, delete by type history. Just because it had that extra little bit. This one doesn't because it's a duplicate. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, either one really, and I'm going to Control D to duplicate it. And I'm going to bring it over to the center here. And this actually, I'm going to tap spacebar, and I'm going to hold X for grid snap, and I'm just going to snap it. Come on. Oh, sorry, I did curve snap. I meant X. There we go. X, and just make sure it's right in the center, just so it's a little bit better. Tap spacebar. And then I'm just going to go ahead and scale this wider. And we'll scale it like this. Okay? And then again, modify freeze transformations to zero out the transformations. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is this. I want to take both of these and parent them to this curve. So I'm going to grab them both. And then now hold shift and click on this last and hit P. Now when this one moves, those both will move with it. All right? Next thing we're going to do is this. We're going to grab this one, his left eye, and then I'm going to hold Shift and click on that eyeball, and then you're going to go to Constraint, Aim, hit the option box, make sure Maintain Offset's on, and hit Add. Do the same thing on this side. This, hold Shift, click the eyeball, and then just hit G, because it was the last thing we did. Now, what you'll notice is, when I move this guy, his eyeball will move with it. And when I grab this one, his eyeball will move with it. And if I grab this controller, his eyeballs will move with both of them. Okay, so that's the idea behind that. That looks great. Okay, so we're going to call that good for the rig. The last thing we need to do is just clean this up, and I'm just going to do that in the last video, and that should be relatively quick, and that will be it. But you could definitely, I mean, there's a lot you can do with rigging. This is just trying to make the most basic rig that should hopefully work. All right, so I'm just going to make sure I save this, and then the next one we'll just clean up the rig and call it good.